Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. A very interesting topic tonight. We're talking about human trafficking. Derri Smith has been with us the whole time, and now we have Pax Weimer's with us, also with Not For Sale, Tennessee. Thanks, Pax, for coming on. So you're a volunteer also with this organization. You're a leader of the area's first volunteer anti-slavery group. Now, what does that mean? Anti-slavery group. What does this mean?
Well, it means that we're advocating change. I mean, we're trying to raise awareness for an obviously large issue. Derri and I met at church, and she, through our connection, asked me. I'm a teacher at a middle school in Franklin, so I'm a regular person, like most people watching. Like Derri herself is a regular person who educated herself on the issue and decided to do something about it. So together we've created a group. There's about 30 of us who have met for our first meeting about a month ago. And we are, first of all, trying to get over our own fears about the issue, because, I mean, a lot of the statistics that Derri's already mentioned, they're quite large and they're daunting, and they scare us a little bit, and we're not sure what we could actually do about it. So in a lot of ways, we're still figuring that out as a group, figuring out ways we could raise awareness. For instance, an example of one of our group members is a student at Belmont, and she has organized an art show that will be seen in 2 weeks from tonight at Belmont's Neely Dining Hall. And various artists are doing artworks, crafts, photography, and the purpose of the show is to raise awareness, first of all, for human trafficking, but also to raise funding by the selling of the artwork to go to Tennessee Not For Sale, to be able to use to work with victims or shelters or whatever we see fit.
Are there a lot of shelters and places for victims to go of this specific problem of the sex industry, or the people who have been human trafficked or involved in human trafficking? Are there places and shelters where these people can go?
Take that. Actually, there's a tragic shortage. We have nowhere near enough, and Natalie Grant's group is actually raising money for domestic shelters, which is a desperate need. So we're very grateful she's doing that.
All right, let's go to Tasha on line 1. Tasha, hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. I guess when I first heard about the human trafficking, it was on a Lifetime movie, and I was completely shocked about hearing, about how people are being sold, and the different things that you guys have been talking about. And I was just wondering how the lady got involved in this, and what steps she took to get more involved in helping out.
Yeah, your personal story. What about that, Derri?
Well, I was actually reading on a totally different topic, and I stumbled on a paragraph, excuse me, that told me basically what human trafficking was, and I was shocked. I had no idea such a thing existed in the world, much less the extent of it or that it happened here. So I just started reading everything I could get my hands on. And then I started Googling everything I could online. And then I started watching every documentary, interview, movie I could. And then, because I'm old enough and I have a little chutzpah, I started calling activists all over the country, anyone I thought I could learn from, and saying, teach me. What can you teach me? What works? What doesn't work where you are? And just little by little learning. I have a lot more to learn. I'm a beginner, but we're in the process.
So you just read something and you just got involved. You just started this organization.
I think that everybody who faces slavery has a choice. You take a look at it and you go, I'm going to ignore that, it's too uncomfortable, or somebody else will take care of it, or it's somebody else's business, or you say, I can't know that this is happening on our streets and not do something.
I noticed Tasha's still on the line. Did you have a follow-up question, Tasha?
I was just wondering, what's the name of the organization, and is there a website that I could go to?
Absolutely, and I bet they're glad you asked. And there is the information right there, Not For Sale, Tennessee, and there you see the website along with the phone number. And we'll put that up one more time at the very end of the show as well, but there's some very important information. That national hotline number is to call when? would you say, Derri? When do you call that number?
If you are a victim or if you suspect you know of a trafficking situation, don't hesitate to call. Most of our tips come from ordinary citizens.
And Not for Sale Tennessee is what you started. How big is this organization?
We're just starting. We've been in existence for about 4 months. The national organization has been in existence for 2 years, and it has just grown phenomenally because there's such a need. But we are just in the beginning stages, and yet I've been thrilled by the momentum that we have already.
And so, Pax, if you go to one of these meetings, you've had one meeting so far.
Yes.
Let's say somebody goes to the second meeting. What's going to happen at the second meeting?
Well, the second meeting will actually be next week, and we'll be meeting at the Green Hills Library about 6 o'clock to kind of keep it as an open forum for anyone who would like to come. At our meeting, we try to do a couple of things. First of all, we try to educate ourselves. We feel like Derri mentioned, that we have a choice. A lot of people have been confronted with the knowledge of human trafficking, but they bury it and they deny it because they don't feel like they can do anything about it. So we try to get beyond just mere knowledge, move into acceptance, and then into intentional self-awareness. I mean, we're not going to be trying to beat ourselves over the head with statistics that make us feel bad, because there's no purpose in just doing that. But we do try to educate ourselves, watch videos, movie clips, look at some statistics, look at examples, see some of the trends, see some of the red flags, and study them together so that we can know and be aware of that. But we'll also talk about proactive things that we can do as a group. One of our group members has even just recently emailed me a database of all of our interests and strengths and hobbies from our first meeting, and sent me this huge database of everything that we do and our hobbies and our professions, and so that we can look at it. And if we're doing a marketing campaign for our art show in a couple of weeks, we know which people have marketing experience that we could call upon to help us do marketing for our art show.
And to follow with Tasha's question, I mean, what she asked of Derri, you know, why did you get involved? And you said at the beginning you got involved because you go to the same church and you just started talking about this. Are there people, and what's so difficult about this is, obviously the people involved want to protect their privacy and that kind of thing, but are you seeing that most of the people coming to your organization are people that just read about it or maybe hear about it in a situation like this, or are you seeing people that have actually been victims that are also participating in what you're doing?
We haven't had anybody that have been victims, but we do have people who have encountered it through different ways. Personally, I encountered it through, I lived in India for a year up until last April, and in a lot of ways it's pretty unavoidable in India. There are children that are forced into labor, there's huge red light districts in the major cities, and so in my time in India it was unavoidable, and Derri and I, when we met, we made that connection, and through my experience with having encountered it in India, she and I began to dialogue more, and we began to talk about volunteering and working and starting this first anti-slavery group. Now, most of the people in the group haven't encountered it through some foreign country. A few of them actually had, through trips to Africa or to Central America, had come to experience some of the numbers, local people telling them about it. But most of them are just regular people like us that have a variety of jobs, that saw a movie like our caller called in about, read something like Derri's experience, and they simply wanted to know a little bit more about it. It broke their heart enough that they wanted to do something about it.